Hello everyone, welcome to the next gem, and today I'll be reviewing a bit of an older figure today. It's the Golden Age Captain America from Captain America the Winter Soldier by Hot Toys. So I actually had this figure a while back and I sold him and then I picked him up again last year. So when this figure was first released, it was a Sideshow exclusive and then it sold out on the first day. I tried to pre-order it, couldn't get it, so that kind of sucked. I was super disappointed since it was basically waitlisted less than 24 hours, so that kind of sucked. But I did get it from another collector later on. Then, like I said, I sold it. And I feel like I really gravitate towards this figure because of the costume. It pays homage to the costume used in Captain America the First Avenger, but it has some design details that are just a bit different. But before we talk about the full figure, let's talk about the accessories. Alright, here's some of the accessories. Let's go through some of the hands really quick. We got one pair of fisted hands, just to get some punching action on the Hydra agents and the Winter Soldier, or I guess if you even want him to fight Hitler a bunch of times, but that's the First Avenger. You got a pair of open-handed for maybe like throwing the shield. It's a little bit more of a dynamic pose with those hands. You got a pair of relaxed hands. The other one's on the actual figure. You also got one pointing finger, and that's pretty cool. It's like half pointing, but half. I guess you could put a pistol or a gun in it. A gun holding hand. I think they took most of, or if not all of these, from the first Avenger release, and just made them a darker brown. So I mean, I don't mind that too much because they're pretty much the same thing as the first Avenger, but also comes with the shield strap holding hands. He also has another one. It's on the figure itself, but here's the left version. So it works. I did have the Age of Ultron magnetic shield version. So much easier to use than the straps, but then again, if you had magnets, it wouldn't be accurate, and yeah, but I still feel like Hot Toys can use the magnets for their other Captain America versions, but at this point in time, the magnet version did not come out yet, so I could kind of forgive them for that. But the consecutive ones after that, I feel like they still could have used it. It does come with a couple extra pairs of pegs, so that's cool if you ever break them, like I know I do. Hopefully not too often, but I haven't broken down these yet, so that's good. It also comes with a golden like the very old style bases, the oval bases, where it just says Captain America Golden Age version, and then you got the movie text on the oval itself, and then the crotch grabber. So that's pretty much it. In terms of accessories, actually, let me take out the shield real quick. I guess that counts as an accessory, even though, yeah, let's take it out. You know what, I'm just going to bring all of Captain America out here, because it's so annoying to take out the straps. But yeah, the shield on the Golden Age Captain America version, I actually like this version better than, let's say, the next version that comes after it, which is the Age of Ultron version, which is like a clean version. But I actually like this slightly battle damaged and a little bit worn version of the shield. I like that. It has a nice dark red with the blue and all the little scratches everywhere. It's not overdone in terms of weathering, but it's enough to give it like that realism. And then it is die cast. So then again, diecast is cool, but it does have its ups and downs, especially in the articulation department, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Here's a shot of it on the inside. Just your usual Captain America shield, but I have him with his other right-handed holding shield hand, so that's pretty cool. He is a bit light on accessories. I feel like maybe if they could have added maybe one or two more accessories, but then again, Captain America didn't use too much extra stuff at the end of the movie, I would have really liked a second head sculpt. That's what we needed. But unfortunately, they did not include that because I feel like this figure really needed it. And you'll see why when I talk about the likeness a little bit later on. But before that, let's take a look at the full figure. Okay, here's Captain America in a bit of just a museum pose, just to see him in all of his glory, to showcase his shield a little bit and the full costume. I want to talk about the accuracy of the body. Of course, this is a bit of an older figure, so the body isn't going to be as up to date as, let's say, the Endgame Captain America. So I don't expect that with this figure for sure. But you can tell it still holds up for the most part. There are some things that I do have complaints with, like the shoulders. If you have it like turned, it doesn't show too much, but if you're showing like from head on, the shoulders are a bit puffy. It's not accurate to the movie. His shoulders were a bit more shapely. It really like emphasized like the deltoids and all that stuff. A little bit more slim, like I said, more shapely in the shoulder area rather than it being kind of flat or puffy. So that kind of sucks. I did add some bubble wrap to the chest and to the traps because without it, his chest was like pretty flat. Even with the bubble wrap, his chest is flat and the traps were super like horizontal and flat as well. So I don't know if you can tell, I did add a little bit to the traps just for a slight little slope. But I try not to mess with it too much because I do like my figures stock. I can tell that like the body itself, it feels very heroic and does the job for Captain America. I feel like the outfit itself is probably what's letting it down than the actual body itself. Mostly in this area. I feel like the pants are pretty well done. Could be a little bit too tight, maybe towards the calf area. But the design is spot on, except for the shoulder area. So that could have been improved. In terms of the design of the costume, I do love the design of the costume. It's like a 2.0 version of the first Avenger, but you got that extra red stripe down the middle. You got a little bit more blue, like on the shoulders, because I think these were gray in the first Avenger version. So I do like this kind of more modern World War II version of the costume. I hope Hot Toys makes a 2.0 version of the first Avenger version. That would be amazing, especially with like their new technology, their new bodies. That would be cool, because I did have the first Avenger version. He was a bit, I feel like, undersized. Everything, all the material was pretty stiff. Compared to this one, so this one is definitely more. You're able to get it in more dynamic poses than the first Avenger version. So that's why I kind of stuck with this in terms of it being my representation of that first Avenger movie. So the materials used on the costume majority of it is fabric, which I do like. There is a stretchy material for the upper arms. Let's see if I could zoom in on this a little bit. You can tell the difference between the material on the chest is that softer fabric compared to the kind of rubbery material on the arms. You can even see a little bit of a, like, not exactly tearing, but creasing in that rubbery material. So it's not the best in terms of pliability, but it seems pretty durable so far in terms of all the dynamic poses I've had this guy in. I do like that the pants and elbows are huge, I think, in terms of articulation for Captain America because of his shield. I'm glad his elbows are basically that softer, more pliable fabric as well as the pants. You know, so we can get all those kicking and more wide stance poses in the pants. That's a nice shot of the boots there. Not too much weathering, maybe a little bit of weathering on the boots, but not too much. Because he did just steal it from the Smithsonian, so I guess they shouldn't be too worn. But you can actually see some wearing on some of the shin pads and thigh pads there. So it's pretty, they had some weathering, not too much to the point that it distracts from the figure, or it's a battle damage version. But this guy, yeah, like so far the materials that it used, I think is a good thing. Overall, I think the only problems, once again, is those upper arms and sometimes the materials that they used and maybe the inaccuracies of how they are shaped. Like I said, the softer material for the elbows and the pants, basically this allows for more posability and you don't have to worry about the costume tearing in long-term poses. Alright, next is the likeness, and I'm gonna say right off the bat, the likeness wasn't good back then when it came out, and now in present day, it really doesn't hold up. They gave him like kind of a goofy expression. I kind of forgave it back then, but now seeing like the progressions in likeness and how good they got at getting Chris Evans in the helmet, that likeness, this is kind of like, I don't really see him. Maybe like a fraction, small percentage of Chris Evans in that. And it's just weird because the likeness or the expression is just so weird. It's like there's this dead eye look. And then his mouth is kind of like this half open, like, I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing, Bucky? Type of expression. In various angles, you don't get a very good likeness. That's my problem with this figure. Maybe but other than, for sure, straight on, you're not going to get good likeness. And in a museum pose, this expression doesn't do him any favors. So that, I feel like the likeness is definitely the worst thing about this figure. And it's crazy, like I said, because the head sculpts actually that they used in this movie, because this is the Winter Soldier, that they used for the stealth cap, consecutive caps like Age of Ultron, Civil War, and all that stuff, were pretty much the same sculpt. So it sucks that this figure missed out on that improved version of Chris Evans in the helmet. I would have liked to seen a more determined or stern expression with this sculpt. I actually wish a third party would have made a sculpt to replace this because it's so bad. Yeah, I feel like I even thought about getting the first Avenger Captain America head sculpt to replace this. I still might, just because I prefer the expression on that one more. But even then, the accuracy of the helmet is different. They're different. Like this, the A is actually raised on this. Let's see. Yeah, the A is actually raised on this. The wings are actually like indented into the helmet. Some things are a little bit different in terms of shape of the helmet. But I still might pick it up just because the helmet and the likeness in this head sculpt is definitely the weakness, the major weakness of this figure. Okay, some articulation time. So for the most part, the articulation is good in terms of like getting kicking and punching and all that stuff. It's all good except for bending in the torso. I feel like that's kind of the downfall of the articulation. And the weight of the die-cast shield can weigh down on the arm when you're trying to put it in some dynamic poses. So let's try to run through some of the articulation on the figure. Let me get him off the base. So the head is on like this neck post. It has a cut up on the upper neck, so you can get all around on that ball joint. His shoulders could go in and out that far. So one on his arm can go that high, but on his shield arms, because it's die cast, it is going to weigh it down and have it flop over just over time. I feel like that happens with all the Captain America figures with the die cast shield. So I'm actually kind of excited to be getting the Endgame Captain America with a plastic shield and see how that ends up going. You can get the shoulder joints go back about that far and forward that far. So not too much. Like I said, the puffy shoulders are hindering it a bit. Let's see if I can get you a better shot of that rubbery material. Yeah, it's a little bit different, but it has some good detailing in there as well. The elbow has a double bend at the elbow. Swivel out the wrist, that standard 1/6 scale joint. The torso can not really bend, and I don't really like to bend it, or else it leaves a crease in this softer rubbery material of the abdomen section. So I don't like to bend this too much, but I do like to rotate it from side to side. The pants or the legs, the hip can go out that far back, about that far forward, double bend at the knee, and then he has the solid boot design, but it is a rubbery material, so that will help a little bit in terms of getting him to stand properly, but it is a bit loose sometimes, or depending on your figure. But you can also rotate it. So the articulation is pretty good. You can get in some good dynamic poses, but it is going to be limited in some aspects. But for the most part, you can leave it in some dynamic poses for quite a long time, maybe a few months or so, and you won't have to worry about it because of the materials. But like I said, I do love the design of the shield, but the weight of it, oh, there he goes. Come on. Oh, there you go. The weight of it sometimes can hinder your more dynamic poses. Alright, so here's a bit of a comparison between my favorite pair in Captain America the Winter Soldier. Of course, this is the Endgame Black Widow version, and this is Golden Age Captain America. I don't think they had much screen time together in their respective costumes, especially this costume. But the scaling is pretty good. I want to say, I don't know, is Black Widow slightly undersized compared to Captain America? I can't exactly remember, and I watched Captain America the Winter Soldier a bunch of times. But they do look really nice together. I love their characters in the movie and their dynamic. I feel like if you pose them two together, they'll go really well together. Just Steve and Natasha had that cool dynamic together, a bit of a friendship, and who knows, I don't know, I preferred them together in terms of romantically, rather than Bruce and Natasha, but whatever, they had a good friendship together, and in the end, we saw how it all turned out anyway. So these figures are really cool together as well. You can see that Natasha has definitely a more updated body, a more realistic looking body than this Golden Age Captain America. Okay, here's the Golden Age Captain America next to the Endgame Iron Man Mark 85. They look pretty cool together. Of course, the Mark 85 is going to be pretty much taller than him because it is a guy in a suit, and I know this is probably inaccurate because it is nanotech, and Robert Downey Jr. isn't as tall as Captain America, or Chris Evans, I should say. But they do look nice together. I like the bright blues of the World War II look, Golden Age Captain America with the very bright red and gold of the Mark 85. I think this is another good pairing to have them together. And yeah, so this is pretty cool, even though this is kind of like Captain America's first-ish suit with Iron Man's last suit. So those two look really cool together. Good Iron Man figure and really good Captain America figure put together. Alright guys, so overall I think it is a great figure. The head sculpt could use some work, and like I said, he didn't come with many accessories. I would have liked a second head sculpt with this figure, but I think it is the best cap if you want a more World War II looking cap. I wish, like I said, they had a third party, would have made a replacement sculpt for this head sculpt, so that would have been nice. But what do you guys think about the figure? If you have any questions about it, feel free to ask it down below. And I really love chatting all figures with you guys. Please give the video a like if you did enjoy it, and maybe if you have any more questions, or maybe a figure that you want to see me review, leave a comment down below. So, until we unbox again, I'll see you guys later.